Rain delays suck. Am I right?
They do suck.
He knows it. Thank you guys for joining us. Of course, this is the PHNX D-backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as the Macho Man Randy Savage, occasionally known as
where's the
Pinata.
costume today, Derek?
Today it is November 1st, Jesse, and we are requiring everybody else to show up in costumes, but not us. Of course, this is the Thunderstick, my vice mayor, the one and only Jesse Friedman.
I went back and watched YouTube videos of Macho Man Randy Savage last night, and it was incredible. Not only did you impersonate his voice, but you were like quoting him like word for word.
Yeah.
This interview that I like you was literally exactly what you said.
Well, I know. That's the way things like that work, Jesse. I mean, I've seen those interviews a trillion times. So don't even get me started on it. But I do have more to offer than President Jack Tunney thinks that I got. Of course, this show is brought to you by the fine folks at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download it, use it, make some money, and use our code PHNX when you do so. Welcome in, guys. Of course, we are sad because the entire world was robbed of a Game 3 at Citizens Bank Park on Halloween, filled with raucous Phillies fans in costume, giving the Astros the business. You know? I mean, I really feel like we were robbed of that.
I feel like, I mean, so now you sort of face a question if you're a Phillies fan, right? Like, do you go with that costume to the game tonight if you're going tonight?
You have to go.
I think you probably have to.
Yeah. Inclement weather be damned. I'm showing up as, whatever the case may be. We saw some great costumes, by the way. Not only did we see great baseball-related costumes, but we also saw specifically great Phillies-related costumes. There was some attacks on Astros. It's old jokes, but you got to realize, for Phillies fans, it's new to them. They're just now realizing how short Jose Altuve is, and they're having a ball with it. Let me tell you. But no, seriously, in all seriousness, I feel like it really does take the steam out of something that could have been a very special night. It just, I feel like historically in sports, you don't get a lot of games of this importance on Halloween. We know of one. We were involved in one, right? But that was way more serious. I don't remember a lot of Yankees fans showing up in costumes and all of this stuff that we would have seen in Philadelphia. But the Philly fans are great. And I mean, there has been a lot of talk about how quiet the Houston Astros crowd was in Houston. So I think that was only going to add to how crazy things would have gotten last night, and still are going to get tonight in Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the weight just makes Phillies fans that much louder,
foaming at the mouth.
that much more obnoxious tonight. I'm sure we'll see multiple people dressed up as trash cans. I'm fully counting on that. If there is not one Phillies fan dressed as Oscar the Grouch in a trash can as an Astros player, you guys really haven't done your due diligence there. But I'm with Jesse. I really feel like we should have fans in costumes tonight. But since we probably won't get that, since most people are fairly reasonable, we did find some great costumes from Twitter that were baseball related and more specifically World Series related. Well, Leah, let's take a look at a couple of those that we found. We have this one that is incredible. For those of you listening, it is the tweet comes from Josh Brown. It says, "My buddy Brian and his son dressed up as Aaron Judge and Jose Altuve for Halloween." Obviously, the Aaron Judge being the grown man adult, and the how old is this kid?
I'm gonna say, yeah. I'd say 2, 1.5 to 2.
I'm so bad at identifying the ages of like small children.
Yeah. So he's walking, and he looks pretty sturdy, but he also looks fairly.
I would say 1.5.
Yeah. So looks fairly new to walking here.
Okay.
Unlike Jose Altuve, who walks all the time. He's very plate disciplined. But of course, this is fantastic. Like, this was one of my favorites that we saw, especially the size comparison. What else do we have, Leah? We have this gem right here. This is from a local guy, Jeff Gahn, I think is how you say his name. His son Jackson wanted to be his favorite D-back, Corbin Carroll, for Halloween. So we already have a Corbin Carroll sighting during Halloween. It's
you gotta
fantastic.
love it. You gotta love it. Corbin Carroll responded to this tweet, by the way, and said like, "You love to see it," or like, "Looking forward to meeting you at the ballpark," or something like that.
Go.
So it was cool to see Corbin respond like that.
Gotta make sure, like, you should maybe have like a little blur behind you if you're Corbin Carroll. Like with a flash or something like that. That would be good to see. All right, Leah, what else we got? This kid that came as a Ken Griffey Jr. Chrome baseball card.
Wow.
That is fantastic.
I don't think they sell those online.
No,
that is a custom design.
That's a homemade costume. Yep, that's a box. The kid is in a box for those of you that can't see it. He's got all the details of the Topps Chrome Ken Griffey Jr. baseball card, the highly coveted card. And it's just a great overall look. Kid's got the hat on backwards. He looks like Ken Griffey Jr. It's perfect.
Brettley Johnson, I assume, came as a Justin Martinez baseball card.
He did.
Probably.
He did. Actually, he came as a rainbow, which is what the set was that he's trying to collect of the Martinez cards. What else we got, Lee? I love a good Rockford Peach, a League of Their Own costume. There were a lot of these. These are popular, especially for little girls. They never don't look adorable. They're always adorable in this costume. It's always a hit with me. I saw lots of these, but the dad is Jimmy Dugan in this picture, really drinking the beer back there, just looking surly, is just absolutely perfect in regards to the entire look here being complete.
These triplets?
They look like triplets. Those are three children that are very close in age. They look very much alike, and God bless them.
Give me 2.5, 3.
All right, yeah.
I don't know why
Leah's our age expert.
I don't know why I'm so invested in that.
Expert.
It's so hard. Like, the difference between a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old is so subtle. I swear.
It's absolutely not.
No.
Give me like a tangible distinction between a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
A 7-year-old is in school and a 4-year-old is
vocabulary.
At home.
There's so many things that are different.
Hey, I was a pretty smart 4-year-old. All right, Derek.
Man,
that's when I was 4,
beating kids in ping pong at 4.
I was not. I did not have that kind of coordination when I was 4, and it's frankly a miracle I have that kind of coordination now.
I really can't believe it.
As someone who played pickleball with Jesse, I have a hard time.
I also have a hard time believing it. Yes.
Believing.
Great point.
There's a big difference between table tennis and like actual life-size tennis.
Not really, though. Not when it comes to pickleball. There's about the same amount of movement involved.
There is a lot more movement in pickleball than there is in ping pong.
You are not playing ping pong the right way.
You move like 1 or 2 steps to your left and right every once in a while, but it is by and large a stationary game. So,
we have any more Halloween costumes there, Leah? Oh yeah. So this is.
What is this? What's going on here?
This is a demon in the Philadelphia Phillies dugout. This was before yesterday's game, and my understanding is this is the Philadelphia Phillies manager Topper.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot confirm or deny if it is him or not, but I'll tell you this much. Nothing would be more endearing when it comes to Rob Thompson and his managing of this team than for this to actually be him in this costume.
Is it? You think that's Rob Thompson?
Can you imagine if he managed the fucking game in this costume? Could you imagine just all night? Can you imagine Ken Rosenthal going to interviews in the dugout and asking him his thoughts on that in that costume?
I mean, there's so
we got
much,
robbed of this. I'm telling you.
There's so much potential too for like arguing with the umpire and like ripping his mask off and throwing it on the ground or something and revealing his true face underneath.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Like just having enough. Maybe he gets too close into his face, hits him with a little rubber nose, and he's like, "I'm at it." But anyway, what else we got? We got more. We got some pretty good Phillies costumes. This one, incredible.
This one is legendary.
This is a small child in a waste management truck wearing a Phillies jersey, taking out the Astros trash. Oh, you don't get any better than that. Kudos to whoever put that entire thing together. You deserve all.
You don't think it was that kid?
He might have had one. Leah, how old is this kid?
Yeah, how old is that kid, Leah?
That kid, Leah.
Ooh,
yeah, he's sitting. It's hard. Does he walk yet?
No, he walks.
Yeah, he's old enough to make a fist.
Yeah, I have a number in my head.
I really want to hear you.
No, let's go, Jesse. How old do you think?
I think he's 3.
I was gonna say 4 or 5.
Okay, all right. See, I'm at least in the ballpark.
I was gonna go 5.
Jesse's like, he looks 11.
Yeah, he's either 3 or 13. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but it's one of the two.
Can't quite figure it out. By the way, yesterday we got. I think that's all of the ones that we have. Yeah, Leah.
Well, we have the video. Too.
Oh, we have a fantastic video.
Jordan Walker in the Arizona Fall League.
Yes, Jesse set this up. He is in a. Is it a sloth onesie?
He is a sloth. He is in a sloth onesie.
Sloth onesie, taking batting practice, and of course he's making it look effortless. If you saw there at the end of the video, you could see his ankles. That costume was too small for him because, of course, it is. He is a gigantic man, And I was doubtful that they actually made a sloth costume that was big enough to fit his person.
They ran out of like double XL sloth costumes.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, that pinata costume that I wear is not big enough for me. I'm going to tell you guys, that's a secret that you.
Jordan Walker also was wearing Crocs. If you look closely, he went full on with this costume.
He also had a home run in yesterday's Halloween game. For the Salt River Raptors. So shout out to Jordan Walker for making the Arizona Fall League exciting. Yesterday, we had a great question in our Discord for our Mailbag Monday that we actually missed out on, and we didn't get a chance to address it. So we had a question that was basically this one right here from Night Raider. He asks, if you had to pick a Halloween candy that represents the 2 World Series teams, which one would you pick?
It's so good. It's such a good question.
It's such a good question because, I mean, what are you going to do here? What are you going to do as far as major name brand candies? I feel like there's a lot of different ways you could go. I know this is probably petty of me, but I'd pick a Payday for the Phillies. Right?
Okay.
Because we're always forgetting how much their payroll is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah, along those lines, my thought for the Phillies was like, and especially now that we're kind of getting into the holiday season here, every one of you watching this show or listening to the show is going to receive a little box of chocolates at some point, right? It's inevitable in the next 2 months. And I think the Phillies resemble that box of chocolates. Like, it's really expensive. It's very expensive, right?
Like
you pay way more for that box of chocolates than what those chocolates are probably actually worth.
Nor are you going to get as much as you would if you just bought like a small pack of like candy bars or
exactly.
Bars.
There's not that many of them inside, right? It's Bryce Harper, it's JT Realmuto, it's Zach Wheeler, but there's not that many chocolates inside of the box. But the box is still very, very, very expensive. And probably not quite as good as it should be given how much you pay for it, which the Phillies, they won 87 games. Makes sense.
Wow.
I rest my case.
That's pretty good.
I have no idea for the Astros.
You have no idea for the Astros?
No idea.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, the Astros, I could go a couple of different directions here.
Okay.
Have you ever had that dehydrated, like, space like ice cream that they make? Like, that comes to me as like a fun one because it's Space City and Houston and all of that, right?
Sure.
But if I was being honest, the candy bar that makes me think of the Houston Astros is an Almond Joy. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's a fucking trash candy bar. So is anything
that
with
might be
coconut in
the
it.
one food take that you and Craig Morgan agree on.
Oh, man. Good. Because there are some things that are just universally known, and that is that an Almond Joy is trash.
I've never had an Almond Joy.
I knew you were going to.
Can't answer that. Oh, come on.
Why? Why are you like this?
I'm reviewing a movie for you later in this show. I mean, I think we all know at this point that pop culture references are lost on me. But like,
candy.
I know it's candy.
It's candy. It's coconut with a little almond in it.
I mean, you're not making it sound like something I have to try.
Right? It's because it's a trash candy bar, but I want it just as a point of reference for you to know what it is. God, this is.
I don't think I've had one, but that's by choice. I've seen them. They've been in my Halloween bag. I think that was the candy I always like gave to my dad. You know, here you go. I don't want it.
We have multiple
Joy.
people. Charles Clark hasn't had a what? Charles, you haven't had an Almond
I
Joy
do. I just Googled what an Almond Joy looks like, and I recognize it. But yeah,
man.
I've definitely never had it.
Man.
I'm not a big, to be frank, I'm not a big almond person in general. So if you put almond in the name of a candy bar, I very likely am not going to.
I get it. There's ways to make me avoid foods too I get it. But still, it's an Almond Joy. I would just thought out of curiosity that you guys had tried it. Pugs and Hugs is allergic to what? Almonds or coconut or chocolate? I want to see what's the saddest.
Probably almond.
Almond? Yeah, almond would make sense. All right. Whatever. Jesse, he's not known for his candy takes, but he's definitely known for his ability to write about baseball. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, sign up over at gophnx.com. For an annual membership, you'll get yourself a free t-shirt of your choice, just like these behind me, over at the phnxlocker.com. If you get yourself a month-to-month membership, you will get yourself a month for your first month for just 50 cents. Regardless of your membership status, you will get members-only discounts over at the phnxlocker.com, as well as members-only discounts over, or members-only invites over to our events and private things that we've been doing. We have some fun stuff coming up, including the Suns takeover over at the arena, which is
almost
almost sold out. Jesse and I are very disappointed We were going to steal some of the free.
Yeah, we were definitely hoping it wouldn't sell out so that there would be room for us.
That's not going to happen.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. This is the wonderful thing you get for being a member. Also, you'll get members only access to our Discord, which of course is the greatest place to be an Arizona Diamondbacks fan. And if you're watching us right now on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel, we thank you guys so much for being here. Please make sure to sign up for notifications, subscribe to the channel, leave us a little thumbs up, do all that stuff. If you're listening to us on your favorite audio podcasting app, I hope I did a good enough job of describing those pictures that we showed on the screen of the Halloween costumes. You can message me and let me know if we didn't. And also make sure you're subscribed there on your favorite audio podcasting app. Leave us a review if you'd be so kind. Jesse, I'm sad.
Why are you sad?
It's time for me to say goodbye to that blue check mark. It's going away.
You're not gonna fork over the, what is it? Is it $8 a month now? Maybe.
Yeah,
there was originally rumored as being 20. Maybe it's 8. I don't know.
There's some new information coming out from Elon Musk, who is looking to sink my favorite social media platform right into the ocean. But Twitter is going to start charging people for verified people to have a blue check mark. Whether you are a new person looking to have a blue check mark, whether you are a person that currently has had a blue check mark for years, if you're like Leah, who's had your blue check mark for like 1 month and you're already getting it taken away from you, I would just like this opportunity to say goodbye to my blue check mark. We've had some good times together. You got me some free stuff.
Does that mean Roosevelt isn't going to give you any shirts anymore?
Probably not. I better hit up my guy and get one more last shipment sent out to me. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of controversy, a lot of discussion about it. It remains to be seen if it actually happens. How did Musk refer to it today? You said as a prince and pauper situation, lords and peasants system.
Yeah. Elon Musk just tweeted before we went live. Twitter's current lords and peasants system for who has or doesn't have a blue check mark is BS. Power to the people, blue for $8 a month.
He said bullshit, but Jesse doesn't curse on this show. $8 a month. See, it's funny. So it's been changed from 20 down to 8 now, and I still am doubtful of if it's going to happen. But I also kind of laugh at the idea that it's a lords and peasants system currently. It's about to be about who can pay, at least when it was $20, $240 a year to have it, right?
Yeah, now you're sort of making it maybe not lords and peasants, but the people who want to pay $8 a month and the people who don't.
Lords and peasants.
Sort of.
I don't understand how that's less lords and peasancy than what happens now. I don't even know if peasancy is a word.
It's a way for them to continue to try to make money off of a social media platform that they overvalued and paid too much for.
He wrote a whole thread. He said, this will also give Twitter a revenue stream to reward content creators.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, apparently it is interesting. It says in like the list, so you wouldn't just get the blue check mark, you would get some other stuff too. He says you will get priority in replies, mentions, and search, which is essential to defeat spam/scam, ability to post long video and audio, half as many ads, and paywall bypass for publishers willing to work with us. So if you pay this amount of money, maybe you can get behind the paywall of certain media companies. I don't really know exactly how that would work. But the problem, Derek, is that we're completely missing the point of what the Twitter verified idea was from the very beginning.
Exactly. And actually, as we kind of described and talked about in the past a little bit, it has a direct connection to baseball.
It's wild.
It is wild because the reason why Twitter ended up with the verification process in the first place is Major League Baseball manager and legend, if you want to use that term, Tony La Russa, who sued Twitter over basically someone making a fake account claiming to be Tony La Russa. Now, this was a fake account that in all transparency, did the things that most fake accounts do. They had wild, outlandish statements, but they also put in their bio that they were a parody account that wasn't really Tony La Russa. But this was in the early days of Twitter when there was a lot of discussion. There was a lot of questions about who was or wasn't their actual selves because there was no verification process at this time. And you also had people not on Twitter being represented as being on Twitter, which was kind of more of the problem. If a celebrity or a famous person wasn't already on Twitter, it was easy for someone to make a bio and pretend.
I mean, to be fair, it was sort of the golden era of Twitter where like you could go and try to steal usernames before people could get to them.
Oh yeah.
Because this was 2009. And it, like, if you look at a lot of Major League Twitter accounts, a lot of them were created around 2009. Like at D-backs, we'd have to maybe check real quick. I want to say it was like 2010, 2011. maybe 2009, maybe it was a little bit earlier than that. But yeah, this was the time where if you were trying to kind of mess with people and mess with companies, you could just go and claim their usernames before they could get to them. And someone basically claimed Tony La Russa's username and tried to impersonate him and caused a little bit of trouble in the process.
Yeah, the tweets that specifically he kind of sued over were, some pretty obviously insensitive tweets. There were a series of Cardinals pitchers that passed away from 2002 to 2007. Darryl Kyle dying of a heart condition, reliever Josh Hancock dying in an auto accident, and there was just some, obviously some jokes being made that were very, like I said, insensitive. That's what kind of sent Tony La Russa to a point of suing Twitter. These were the tweets that he specifically brought up, and essentially, Twitter settled out of court with Tony La Russa under a few conditions. They agreed to pay for Tony La Russa's legal fees for suing them. They agreed to make a donation to his foundation, and they agreed to take steps to stop phony accounts, which is how we ended up with the blue check mark.
Not long after. I think it took like a couple weeks maybe or something like that. And Twitter was the first like big social media platform to do this. I guess all platforms at this point have a blue check mark equivalent, but Twitter was the first. As a matter of fact,
most of them are a blue check mark. Right?
Yeah, so they literally just kind of said, "Hey, that's a good idea. We're just going to copy what you did." The specific tweet I think that caused the most problem was from April 19th of 2009. I presume this would have been. It said, "Lost 2 out of 3, but we made it out of Chicago without one drunk driving incident or dead pitcher." So just obviously awful. Something that Tony La Russa would never have said. And so he sued Twitter over it, which is sort of kind of a odd thing, right? Like he's suing Twitter. He's not like, there's no mention in here of the actual individual who did this. Like somebody was behind this, right? And created this account and put out this tweet.
But the idea there is that the platform itself gave him that platform in order for him to actually be able to do that.
Twitter realized that it was very flawed in just making it that easy for someone to go out there and impersonate someone in the way that they did Tony La Russa. And reporters asked him about it and he was like, I did not tweet that. Like, this is not okay that information is out there. So it all goes back to Tony La Russa, the blue check mark. And now the blue check mark is changing in not a great way from what we can tell.
It's just like I think Charles Woodall Pike said, if anything more, it's more lords and peasants to charge for it, which is exactly the point. Because as it stands right now, this guy right here, I didn't ask for it. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for this responsibility.
Don't say you didn't want it, Derek. Everyone wants the blue check mark.
I mean, the one issue is it's kind of, and I've seen this before. Right, where people think that because you have a blue check mark, somehow your words have more weight than anybody else. I've seen these ridiculous tweets about like people with blue check marks need to watch what they say, and it's like, what? You guys know me. I'm a jackass. Like, are you kidding me? What? Don't even give me a blue check mark then if I now have to watch what I say because it carries more weight. I'm just a dude, and I'm like, I don't understand how that blue check mark makes people different. I don't understand. Again, talking about lord and peasant system. Now you have to tweet a different way or be more responsible with your words. No, I still want to viciously attack companies that do me wrong on Twitter. I'm not going to take the high road when it comes to that.
I mean, just like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of just like someone casually using Twitter? They have like 100 or 200 followers or whatever, like the average Twitter account has, and being verified. Like, there's no reason for that account to be verified. The point of being verified is to make sure that people don't impersonate you because you have at least enough influence where somebody could try to pretend to be you and it would cause damage.
It's funny you say that because I actually won a contest, not a contest, but like a giveaway. Nike was doing like a giveaway where they were just randomly giving away shoes to people that replied to a tweet. And I was one of the people that won some shoes.
Interesting.
And a guy completely impersonated my account just to try to steal the shoes from me. Like made their bio look the same. It was like instead of cap_caveman, it was like __ caveman or something.
Oh, like wow.
Yeah. Right. So
cap_ caveman with a C instead of a K.
That's crazy. No, they would never do that. Anyway, again, I want to take some time right now to say goodbye to my blue check mark. I miss you. I thank you for all the Super Bowl parties. I rode in a blimp because of you. So thank you for that.
What do we? Okay, so Michael brings up a great point here. He says, "OMG, imagine all the fake Jeff Passan free agent signing tweets that will happen."
Oh, it's going to be like a fucking nightmare.
Because those fake accounts could be verified now. And so you have a nightmare where, I mean, I guess you can still tell the difference by looking at the username.
Sure.
But, I mean, you've been able to do that all along, and people still get fooled by those things left and right. They do,
because they don't actually look at the Twitter username, right? It's just whatever.
Yeah, they just look at the name on the account. Right? Yeah.
And again, like you say, I could actually do it with a blue check mark and have a fun time doing it. But, like, just the idea of all that work you have to do to your bio to make it look like Jeff Passan's, like, that's exhausting to me alone, let alone all the other
is it really? Work. You literally just copy and paste his bio.
But then you have to change your profile picture. You have to change your top bio.
You can easily get that profile picture off of Google Images.
I'm sure you can. And the WWE sign that he has as his header
right.
says Jeff Passan is here. Oh, it's great. Anyway, make sure you guys are checking out all of our sponsors. We shout out to our friends, especially. We got some breaking news, Jesse. Breaking news that I'm breaking on this show, even though it's already been broke on the main PHNX Sports account. But OGs has agreed to a brand new deal with PHNX. Terms of the agreement weren't released at the time of the agreement, but sources close to the two sides say we're immensely excited and looking forward to creating more great content between the brands. More importantly, great memories. Let's go, baby! We're renewed.
There isn't like an arbitration process.
There is not an arbitration process. Okay. No, we opted to give them all they wanted. And in exchange, we received all the OGs that we wanted. And I'm sorry, Jesse, I know this doesn't benefit you, but it benefits the hell out of me, baby. Love them, love OGs, and as always, you can find them at your local dispensary. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, and if you need to find them at ogsbrands.com or on Instagram at ogsbrands. Shout out to our friends for flavoring life, and more importantly, for flavoring our lives here at PHNX. We thank you guys for being our partner. We have more fun with our partners and our sponsors than we honestly should, but OGs is the king of that for us. So shout out to them. They're a local Arizona company, so it's awesome to work, of course, with local Arizona companies, but they are the #1 selling edible here in Arizona. So shout out to OGs, and I look forward to being friends with them for a long time, Jesse. Long time.
Ben says there's a rider in the contract that Derek has to open his shirt once a week.
I'll do whatever I need to do.
Please, God,
also,
no.
I'll do whatever
I just need to say something. So this graphic, if you're watching on YouTube, this is the day Derek lost his keys.
That's the day that Shane Diefenbach stole my keys. I am changing the narrative on how that day is discussed. That is the day Shane openly pulled this magic trick on me where he opened his bag. He was the only person. Wouldn't it be funny
if your keys were in this photo? He was the only person
I made open his bag and empty it. And it was still.
Wouldn't it be funny if your keys were in this photo?
Like a little special, Easter egg there in the background.
That's a missed Photoshop opportunity.
It really is. It really is. Of course, also shout out to our friends from Underdog who have been making sports so much fun. You get the Underdog app on the App Store, or click the link in the show notes. Sign up with our promo code of PHNX, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PHNX. Get on the action today. Get down on the higher or lower pick'ems. The more you pick, the more you add, the more money you can win. Make sure to check that out over at Underdog. And again, shout out to all of our partners for being here, for making this PHNX thing fun. Jesse is making things fun for me. Of course, I'm going to make him try an Almond Joy after this show, but
I'm getting so much more cultured today.
I know, I'm trying to, right? But more importantly, we gave you a movie assignment a long time ago.
Yeah, it was about 2 months turnaround time.
Something like that, yeah. We got to make sure that we get this homework back faster. But the fans selected, and they picked one of the greatest movies in cinematic film history, The Shawshank Redemption, for you to watch. And I am ready to hear your thoughts on it.
It was outstanding, frankly. I mean, like The Breakfast Club, the one that I watched last time, like that's kind of a quirky movie that you can, kind of have some fun with. But Shawshank Redemption was just outstanding, frankly. Yeah. It was just very, very good. There were a few moments that really devastated me. I'm still sad about Brooks. I'm never going to recover.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like
I've never seen it.
It's literally.
I know it's like it's supposed to be one of the best movies ever.
I mean, that's a weird thing.
I don't know if I would say it was one of, like, I don't know if I would say it's in like the elite tier of movies I've ever seen necessarily.
Why do you say that?
I mean, like it was really good. It was really good. I don't know if there was anything, like I'm not by default going to go in and put a movie into that category. You know, a movie.
But
like
critics do. Critics
it's
have
on IMDb. It's the number one ranked movie.
It's the number one ranked movie. Yeah, critics usually it's like The Godfather is up there, Shawshank Redemption,
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, yes, mostly because of
The Dark Knight,
Heath Ledger's performance in that has been critically received, right? So but it's interesting sometimes, especially with a movie like The Dark Knight, where like the movie kind of came in your lifetime and you watched it, and it's hard to think of it as being like one of the all-time great movies ever made. Typically, when you look at that list, though, it's a bunch of old shit that honestly gets overcredited, right? Because again, in today's modern day of movie making, like we should be able to make movies now that are way better than anything we made 30, 40 years ago. The problem is that
you think just like the advances in technology and
and I feel like people are just lazy, and it's hard to like think of an original idea when so many stories have been made. Right. You know, like there's a lot of that kind of come into play.
Sure.
But I mean, that's one of the things about those classic movies. And Shawshank Redemption is one of those where the story itself is so good. It's been copied before. You've seen it parodied probably thousands of times. You know, I'm sure everybody has seen
Get Busy Living, Get Busy Dying. Like that's iconic.
Right. Not only that, but the poster being torn off the wall and the hole in the wall scene. Like, these are things that people.
You're right. You know, like the more I think about it, it's like, okay, it is sort of a masterpiece. Like it is a really, really good movie.
And I think the credit that gets given to movies like that is that they do it without the special effects, right? Like it's such a well-told story, and it's just done.
I mean, I don't know what kind of special effects you need.
No, I'm not saying,
like if they made Shawshank Redemption now, I mean, what are you going to add?
Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, they green screened them being on campus at like the school, right? They could have gone to any fucking college and shot in the quad of the school, but instead they just decided to green screen it in the background. So look, I'm just saying, you never know what people are going to CGI or anything anymore these days, right? But no, it was
Warden had me so. I'm a nice guy, but I could punch that man in the face. Like I wanted to over and over and over again. I think maybe the only thing that I could see with that movie that would maybe take it out of the elite category, although I'm not super convinced of this, is just that there's sort of a predictability component to like, you know, I don't want to give too much away for Leah here, but
being in prison and breaking out of prison.
Like it's
you
sort
can tell
of
that's the direction that it's.
You could kind of tell,
there,
and you could kind of tell that Andy Dufresne was like the type of guy who was definitely going to pull that off.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So, but also like
there
they did it really well.
Spoilers here, so you should probably leave now if you haven't seen.
I
this
mean,
movie.
you all have had like 2 months to watch this, like I had. So
exactly. Come on, get your shit together. Andy Dufresne, Zihuatanejo. I have been to Zihuatanejo, Jesse. I looked for his money. I did not find it, but
so when are we doing a live broadcast?
Oh, we gotta go.
From there.
We gotta go. It's actually where I got engaged, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my father was the GM of a resort hotel in Zihuatanejo, and my wife.
He was the GM of a hotel, like everywhere.
He was. That's kind of what he did as a career. You know, believe
wild.
it or not, you kind of stay on that same path once you get to that elite tier of managing or whatever you want to call it. But it was beautiful. The beautiful part about it was my dad was like, "I'll take care of it." And then I heard nothing else about the plans, right? And like typically when you are the one asking the other person to marry you, you're in on the plans. So as beautiful as it was for my wife to come down and follow this hostess who was leading us to our table, who walked into the restaurant that we thought we were dining into and then out of it, and followed a rose petals path out to the beach.
Oh my gosh.
Where there was a single table set up on the beach with candles and lights and a band.
A band?
And a band. A three-piece band.
Oh my gosh.
We sat in front of the ocean and ate dinner. And yes, I couldn't eat a single thing until I got the words out. But we had ourselves a lovely time in Zihuatanejo. It's a beautiful place.
Ben says, I don't know if I agree with that, Jesse. I think the film makes you think he's going to be exonerated. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, or
even leans in the direction that he's going to like possibly commit suicide or something like that too, right?
Yeah, you're right. as far as predictability goes, I've seen much worse.
Yeah,
like
right.
there are movies where you just know what's going to happen.
Here's the thing.
But like the pickaxe, like
I've seen this about stuff.
I don't know.
I've seen this about stuff when it comes to things that are predictable, right? Sometimes good stories are predictable. And sometimes you know where they're going. It has a certain sense of satisfaction that it actually goes there. And it's like they're not really trying to like surprise you with everything. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, right.
That tends to be the case. But again, I want to give a shout out to Zihuatanejo for being a magical place and for being where I engage. And
I have to go there now, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have to take you there. It doesn't thrill me to do this, but I also have to say something that a week ago, my father, who I lovingly was just talking about, passed away. And I just wanted to take a moment to say how special he was to me. My dad, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. My dad introduced me to celebrities at an age where I was too young to even understand who these celebrities were or how important they were. I got to sit in like Mario Andretti's car before I even knew what Formula One racing was. Like there was a lot of things that my dad took me. My dad introduced me to Paula Abdul and Jessica Hahn before the age of 10. Now, most of you don't know who Jessica Hahn is, so you can go Google that shit and I will wait, but you'll see how inappropriate it was that I met her under the age of 10. But I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't be here. My dad, I traveled the world because of my dad. I did a lot of beautiful things. I'm going to miss him so much, but my friend Mega Ran, he has a song called Infinite Lives. And a big part of that song is talking about we don't live forever, right? But it's about what you leave behind, and that's how you can have an infinite life, right? My dad was, excuse me, I knew it was going to be hard to get through, but my dad was...
you really asked for it, Darren.
I really did.
When you decided to do
when
this.
I started to talk about but he was the first, I've talked about this on Twitter and stuff, he was a big part of why the Make-A-Wish Foundation exists. He was the first national president of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Started several other charitable organizations, and he always wanted to leave that behind. So, I just want to give a shout out to him. I'm gonna miss him, and everybody should try their best to do something where you leave something positive behind, right? That's what it's all about. So, thank you guys so much for your support. I know it's been a difficult week for me. This guy held it down for me last week, and I didn't get a chance to tell you thank you so much for doing that. It meant the world to me. So, and you guys mean the world to me. So, and someone said Jessica Hahn, dang, we are old. Yeah, no shit. Don't even get me started on that. But,
I just love the more that I hear about your dad, the more I'm like, wow, Derek's personality makes so much sense.
Yeah, it really does.
Like he's meeting celebrities when he's 4 years old. Like, it tracks.
It was crazy, like the stuff I got to do. But my favorite thing about my dad was that he was a GM of hotels. So I got to kind of be the bratty kid of the boss of the hotel.
I'm sure you wore that very well.
It just meant I got all the room service I wanted for free and all sorts of stuff. I miss those days. I did not appreciate them as much as I should have at the time, let me tell you. But again, we thank you guys so much. I thank you guys so much. Thank you for, again, your support during this. It means the world to me. And I'm happy I can share this stuff about my dad. It's not always easy for me because it's still pretty fresh and new for me. But I'm going to continue. You're going to hear these stories multiple times. I'm telling you that right now. That's I preface that to my friends. Like, you're not going to just hear this story one time. So, but anyway, Michael said his asking what the fuck up was Jay Crowder. That was a word. That was one of the first words that came out of my dad's mouth when I found out he was in hospice. Was, why the fuck are they trading Jay Crowder? Yeah. So. And he had some,
I still don't have a good answer to that question.
I didn't either. I did not either. But it's great. Like, again, my love of sports is a big part because of him. Took me to Yankee Stadium when I was way too young. Took me to that Dodgers Expos game when the Dodgers disappointed us and the Expos came through and signed all of our stuff. And these are all memories I'll never forget. But again, these are what makes us, right? This is why I'm here. And of course, like you said, it makes more sense the more you hear about it. But,
it really does.
Again, we want to give a shout out to all of our partners, all of our sponsors. We can't thank you guys enough for making this show go. Of course, DraftKings Sportsbook is our big tip of the cap to you guys. New customers right now can bet $5 on any NBA team, and you will get $200 in free bets if your team wins the money line bet. So just make a $5 money line bet. If your team wins, you get your winnings. You also get $200 and free bets instantly. You can also boost your winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. It's as simple as downloading the DraftKings Sportsbook app, using our code of PHNX, signing up, and making that $5 bet. New minimum agent eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And again, shout out to our friends at Four Peaks. Thanks for the beers. One of the reasons why I came back early last week was because I heard the beer fridge was restocked. So I figured I'm out of beers here at the house. Why not go back to the office? But we are teaming up with our friends from Four Peaks to host all U.S. and Mexico World Cup matches at their 8th Street Pub. If you haven't been out, if you haven't gone out to be in public for a World Cup match, you don't know what you're missing. Again, I've said this about the Arizona Fall League, and I might have overhyped it, but there is nothing more exciting sometimes than watching these World Cup matches with people that are fans. U.S. team is going to be incredible. Probably not, but we'll see what happens with that one. Make sure to make your way down to the 8th Street Pub. Enjoy 8th Street Pub. Enjoy beer specials, giveaways, guest appearances, and more. Check the link in the show notes to register for free. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy their beer, and enjoy responsibly. That's all I got, Jesse. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready we got some more discussion maybe tomorrow about the Oakland A's no longer being the Oakland A's. We'll see what happens as that continues to develop. But
and hopefully we have a World Series game to
that's
talk about.
The most important part. We need a World Series game to be played tonight, and mostly we need all the Phillies fans to show up in costume still. That's our hope. But in the meantime,
you have a prediction you want to throw out there? McCullers and Ranger Suarez?
I have that's great pitching matchup. It's going to be a great pitching matchup. I have a hard time going against McCullers with the way he's pitching in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He's pitched really well in the postseason. Ranger Suarez has kind of been like a get me by sort of a guy for the Phillies, and he's performed pretty well. I mean, he has a 1.86 ERA in the playoffs, which is insane. Pitching, against the Astros is going to be a new challenge for him, but I have a feeling the Phillies are gonna come out with this one tonight. You're right that on paper McCullers is probably the better pitcher, but also we should mention that the Gold Glove winners will be announced.
That's right.
Here within a couple of hours,
shortly after our show ends, of course, of course, But once we have that information,
all of the big things happen about 1 hour after our show ends.
That's right. But we're looking forward to Christian Walker winning that Gold Glove. We know that's about as certain as we can be. Should be. We'll see what happens with that. But of course, in the meantime, you can follow us along. We'll have some information as that breaks. We'll be talking about it tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm at cap_caveman on Twitter until Twitter doesn't exist anymore, even if I don't have a fucking blue check mark. This guy over here is at Jesse N. Friedman. Our show is at PHNX_DBacks. But of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys again for taking some time and joining us today. I hope you guys were in costume. I can't see any of you, but I'll take your word for it. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you play it in Philadelphia.